There are many quotes in the world that you can take with you and meditate upon, but there's something that Blake said that I think is very important. And it says that self-justification is the voice of hell. And I caught myself the other day justifying the state that I was in. And Neville spoke about this in one of his lectures where he speaks about, we'll say that he did it, she did it, they did this first or they did that. And there's a lot of truth in it. And that's why self-justification is so addicting, because you're right. A lot of the times you are correct in when you justify yourself. But the problem that comes is that you are actually justifying yourself into a state you don't want to be in. So in my case, I was in a certain state of mind I didn't want to be in, and I caught myself creating all these reasons as to why I should stay, even though I didn't really want to stay. And I had to really ask myself, do I want to be freed from this state or do I want to be right? And at times I choose to be right, but it leaves me in the same position, so I have to choose my own freedom eventually. And it really is a voice of hell because it keeps me in a hell, so I justify my way into remaining in the same state, even if I want to get out of it. So when people come to me and they tell me I want to be freed from this thing, and they come up with these reasons why they're not freed, why they can't be free, why they can't appropriate the state of consciousness inside themselves, because your freedom that you're seeking is not under your bed. It's not in a cabinet somewhere. It's within you, and it's something that you need to take. But we can justify why we're not in that state. And many of the times we all have this deep need to be right. And I had to ask myself, do I want to be right or do I want to be freed? And I had to choose freedom eventually. I had to see that my desire is not necessarily to be right, even though I can feel drawn to that. It's to be free. It's to be, in this case, if it's the voice of hell, if self-justification is the voice of hell, then the voice of heaven is forgiveness. I need to forgive myself for being in this state. And I forgive it by assuming myself to be in a different one. And who doesn't want to be right in this world, right? I mean, it's a habit that I formed, but not necessarily a habit I want to continue. And I need to learn the acts of forgiveness, not necessarily the acts of being right. And we can justify anything we are inside ourselves. We can find a reason why we're in that and why we should remain in it. But again, it's not a matter of being right. It's a matter of, do you want to be in this mental state? Do you want to be living mentally in this place? You're allowed to live mentally anywhere. You need to know that, or else you're going to feel like you're stuck in the place you're in mentally. Regardless of what happens in the day, regardless of what thing you heard about yourself or what rumor you heard, you can test it. So let's say you heard something of the day about you, or let's say you told yourself something that you didn't like, or you heard something you didn't like about yourself in the day. And it sends you in this sort of mental position where you are in a crossroads. Now, do I go down thinking that, or can I choose my way into believing I'm something that I want to be? That regardless of what was said, can I still be free? I need to test my freedom. Regardless of what I heard, can I believe in something new within myself? Can I continue believing in the good that I was believing in, even though I might have heard something wrong? And that is loyalty to your state. That's what it means to remain loyal. It's that it's not really about what ifs. It's even if I hear these things, I will remain faithful to what I'm imagining about myself. I'm not going to justify myself anymore into the states I don't want to be in. I'm going to forgive myself, and I'm going to keep forgiving myself for this entire life. I will keep forgiving myself. It's not over just because you moved into a state you didn't want to be in. Just because I moved into one I didn't like, it doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean I have to remain there. No, I can test it. Okay, just because I fell out of a state that I wanted to be in, let's say I fell out, I can test that. Do I have to remain in it? Can I move on as if I didn't even fall out of it? Do I have to justify myself? Do I have to condemn myself? No, I don't. I can forgive and move on as if I didn't even fall out of it. And that's the way to move inside. You don't self-pity, you don't condemn, you forgive yourself every time. It's the same answer every time. Forgiveness extends that far. There's nothing that can't be forgiven inside yourself, nothing. Your forgiveness doesn't dry up, it doesn't go away. It's, again, your forgiveness, just like your freedom, is not found in a cabinet. It's in you, and it won't be lost. So if you're afraid that one day you won't be able to forgive yourself, or that you won't live in forgiveness, and you'll simply live in self-justification. It's not true. That's a lie. So really, the voice of hell is just a voice of lies. Forgiveness is what's true. And so I'm not interested in living in being right. I'm interested in truth. And what I find truth to be is love and forgiveness. I don't find it to be anything else. It's not necessarily, it is logical and it is rational, but it's beyond that. It's beyond those things. I don't want to live a rational life. I want to live a life where I really understand what love is. And what I'm discovering what love is that it's a power and I can use it to forgive or to condemn. But its nature is good, meaning that it will always be available to me inside myself to forgive. It doesn't go away. There's nothing that can't be imagined and there's nothing that can't be forgiven. And so if I love myself, I'll forgive myself by moving into a different state. Just the same way if you see a friend that you care about, you see them struggling, you don't feel proud that they're struggling. You don't feel good about yourself that they're struggling. You imagine them in a greater state and you keep remaining to it until they become that state. The same is true for yourself. You keep unforgiving every single day until you become that state. And you become these things by assuming you already are them. So I just wanted to keep this one short and just speak about a certain thing I was doing for the last few weeks. I caught myself self-justifying inside, and I really saw that it was the voice of hell. And again, I had to ask myself, do I want to be right or do I want to be free? What do I want to be? And I chose being right over and over and over again. And I kept going in circles. I noticed I kept remaining the exact same way. And I saw I didn't want to be right. Not really. I wanted to be free. And so I just wanted to, it's just think about that quote. Self-justification is the voice of hell. And what does that really mean? Discover inside yourself to see if you're justifying yourself in positions you don't want to be in, like I was doing. And instead of justifying, try to free yourself by forgiving yourself into a new state. And so I'm going to end that one here. And I just want to mention, I do live streaming and I have a book out as well. And I also do one-on-ones. So if you're interested in those things, just go to the description. People have been asking for the audiobook. It is done. It's in review right now. So I think a few more days it should be done. And yeah, I'll make an announcement on that as well. So just keep a lookout. But again, thank you guys for giving me your time and your ear.